Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're highly welcome. Please click the subscribe buttons. So this is today we are going to be drafting a corset. This is a very quick way of drafting your corset. So it's if you're able to follow through, you should be able to draft this corset in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so now the first thing we want to do is put in our draft our basic bodies. Alright, so what that 5 minutes I meant it's from the drafting of the corsets, okay, not the basic bodies and all of that. So this one is just I would have simply drafted my basic body before heading on to the corset, but I want to let uh just show you a quick method. Okay, so now I'm putting in my measurements, my chest line, my bust points, my under bust, and the my blouse length. That's my basic bodice length. So if you're going to be attaching any peplon or whatever, this is it. That's where you're going to attach it at the bottom. So now I'm putting in my neckline. I'm using 4 inches by I think 4 inches or 3.5 thereabouts for my width, for my depth, and 4 inches for my width. So now I'm going to be connecting it with the help of my curve ruler. I'm going to be connecting with the help of my curve ruler. So like I said before, if you have your basic bodies, you don't need to go ahead to draft it all over again. You can just go ahead and you know get your corset, draft your corset, and in less than 5 minutes you're done. So it's a very easy and simple method of getting your corset. So now I'm just connecting the neckline. So I think the neckline is too high. I'm just going to come down again. I'm going to make a proper neckline. So I'm just going to get out my square there so that I can put in my measurements and get my a proper U neckline. So I'm going up by 1 inch. I think 1.5. Okay, I went up by 1.5. I'm going to be getting my proper U neckline. The other one was looking as it was looking too high. So now I'm done with my neckline. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to be inserting my shoulder now. I'm just going to take out my darts before you know going ahead to my shoulder. So to take out my dart, I'm going to be taking out using my bust span measurement. My bust span measurement is 7 inches. So now I'm going to be using half of that, which is 3.5. I'm going to add extra half inch, which is going to be for the sewing, which is going to make it 4 inches in total. So I'm just inserting that in my bust line. Then I'm going to be insert that throughout the height, the length. Okay, I'm going to make a connection before I go ahead to take out my darts. So this is the normal process. I'm going to now take out my darts. I'm going to be taking out under my bust line. I'm going to be taking out my darts to be 3 inches. Okay, so on my chest line, I'm also going to be taking 3 inches. So also I'm going to be taking that same 3 inches on my waistline, which I'm going to at the end of the day connect. Okay, so I'm just connecting it down now like so. It's still 3 inches I'm going to be taking out. So with that, that should be able to give us our proper bustier curve. Should be getting our proper bustier curve. So follow through exactly what I'm doing, because this is going to help get out our corset. All right, this is going to help in our corset, going to bring out our corset better. So I just connecting the lines to bring out my bustier curve like so, and from there I'm going to just connect it down to my uh waistline. All right, I'm going to connect that to my waistline to make a lot to come up in my dart. So on my neckline, I'm going to be going out by 4 inches. So I'm going to be inserting my dart at my neckline. I'm going to be using 3 inches. 3 inches. Just where I used that's the same dart takeout I did for the M line. So now I'm going to be cutting out my bustier. Now we've gotten out our bustier of our center piece. Next thing we want to do is get our side piece. So I'm just going to turn it like so and draw the markings. Get the same shape we are having in our center piece. Okay, this is just to help us, you know, get our darts for the side piece. Okay, some of you professionals should know about this particular method, and it's the easiest way. So now I'm just going to be marking out the same shape I have there so that we can have the same dart stick out for our side piece. I'm just marking that out now. So now I'm done marking it. I'm just going to cut it out. So now we finished cutting out that shape. As you can see, our dart takeout is very very visible now. You can see the takeout the darts we took, as you can see it on the both sides. So right now we just want to transfer the lines to this other piece. We want to transfer the lines to this other piece. We're just going to do that, and now we're going to be inserting our measurement. We finished drawing out those lines, so now we're going to insert our measurement. We're going to start with our shoulder measurement. So our shoulder is 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. So we're just going to mark that 8 inches, but don't forget that we've taken out our dart, so we have to calculate what we took out from our dart and add it up. That's how you're going to connect. That's how you want your lines to match, all right, and lay out flat. Your pattern should lay out flat. So you're going to add the allowance, which is 2 inches. Our dart taker was 2 inches. Then we have added extra half inch for the sewing of our darts, making a total of 2.5 inches. So as you can see, we've gotten that as a shoulder line, gotten that as shoulder. The next thing we want to do is to get our shoulder slope. So we are using 1 inch for our shoulder slope. We're just going to make a connection from the shoulder line to get our slope. So right now we are going to insert our armhole measurement. For armhole measurement, we're going to be using our half of our shoulder, which is 8, and we're going to now we are going to connect our armhole. We're going to connect our armhole. Then the next thing we want to do is insert our bust measurements. Our bust measurements, please, you want your pattern to still lay out flat as possible. Okay, so our bust measurement is 9.5. Quarter of our bust measurement is 9.5. So that's where our 9.5 is. Our bust is at 38 divided by 4. So 9.5, and we're going to add, we just calculated our dart there, we're going to add our dart allowance. And we're going to also add our sewing allowance. And so in total, you can end up working with, we ended up working with 4 to 5 inches as our total allowance. Okay, so don't forget to add your allowance maybe 2 inches, your that allowance well calculated. All right. So from there, you're going to get our midpoint, so we can get our arms eye slope. So we're just going to connect that with the help of our curve ruler. This if you're a beginner, you need all these rulers. If you're able to get your pattern master, please do so. All right, so you're just going to connect that curve. You're just going to connect to get our arms eye slope. That's my baby over there. He would not just let me do something. Okay, so now we've gotten our arms eye curves. Next thing we're going to insert our waist measurement divided by 4. Include our dart, which is 2 inches. Also, I'm going to include our sewing allowance. Alright, and we ended up having 13 inches for our waistline, and I think 14 inches in total on our bust line. I'm just going to cut that. I'm just going to connect that. Sorry guys that you cannot see. I didn't know my video was not, you know, up to that point. So I'm just going to connect it with the help of my ruler, and we are done with drafting our basic borders. Did you see that young man? Thank God it's just passing. So we're done cutting. We're just going to go on to inserting our corset. You're just going to go about drafting our corset proper now. So if you already have your basic borders, this is where you're just going to start from. But I will just have to explain some things for the sake of those beginners that will be watching this video. So it's beginner friendly. So now we're just going to insert our corset. You're just going to draft out our corset proper. So we want to get out the shape. So this is where you can get out the shape of your corset. This is where you're going to get out the shape of your corset, because it's going to, there are different types of corsets. They have the round one, they have the one that has the that as the straight line, you have the one that has the that as at the horizontal line. Have so different, that so many, there are some that are ruched, some that are pleated, are draped. So you're just going to make use of, you're just going to draft the round one with, the that at the vertical measurement. So the first thing, you're going to determine where you want to cut out our corset. Okay, so whatever is going to be cut out is going to serve as our yoke. So here is the time where you want to decide how low or how high your corset should be. Okay, this is the time where you're going to determine that. You can decide to go as low as 8, you can decide to go as low as 9, even 12, depending. All right, so before we go ahead to get out our yoke, let us get our corset cup. So to do that, you want to measure your bust point to under bust measurement. Mine is 4 inches. I'm just going to mark that 4 inches round to get my corset cup. Okay, so you want to measure your bust point, the distance between your bust point to your under bust. Alright, because that's where your corset is going to sit properly. I'm just going to mark that 4 inches round. After marking your 4 inches round, we're going to connect it. So now we're done getting our corset cup. We're just going to get our neckline now. Okay, we're going to get our uh corset neckline. This way we're going to take out our yoke and the rest of them. So as you can see guys, you're able to form our corset cup. You can see we've also gotten where we are going to be getting out our yoke from. So this is the point where you're going to decide where you want your style lines to be. You can decide you want your style lines to be here at the side. Okay, you can also decide that you want your style line to be here at the under the bust, under the cup. You also want your style line to be here. So this is where you can get creative, put in your style lines wherever you want it to be. And you don't even necessarily, with this method, you don't even necessarily to need to cut it out. All right, is when you get to the advanced way of cutting your corset, where you're going to need a lot of contouring, and that you can slit open all these style lines. But with this method, this simple method, you don't need to cut it open. You only need to insert your boning channels there. You just need to sew on your boning channels there to create the style line and to come out beautifully well. Okay, some wedding gowns use this method, some even Ashobi styles use this method. So this method, you can achieve this method if you really you want to do a simple outfit, or maybe your client did not charge you well, or you just want to make a fast outfit. You can use this method. So right now, guys, we want to get our neckline. Don't forget we cut out our darts open from our neckline. So now we're just going to finish up the width of our neckline, which is 4 inches, and we're going to connect it to that point. All right, so you can just tape this down because you're already taken out our dart. You can tape it down and make use of the yoke. All right, so you can tape it down and make use of the yoke. So now you're going to cut out our neckline, cut out our yoke, and our corset is ready. So if you're interested in knowing how to sew on your corset, install your boning and the rest of them, it's packaged in our advanced course. So send us a message and we'll sure get to you. Alright guys, thank you for watching this lesson. Bye.